yesterday too. Yes. Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And today is our Restore and Recharge class.
Miss Roboto over here. We'll be playing with your strength, taking our time. So you don't have much equipment, that's okay. We'll need a balance aid like our bar or chair and just a little bit of space on the floor to wiggle or roller coaster down, and we'll go from there.
Just your body. Standing tall on your feet. Root those feet into the floor, and we're going to start at our head neck. We're going to start first with a movement that is going to come a circle in this direction. So what I'd like you to do first is lightly tuck your chin. Then slowly reach the head or the chin towards the ceiling. And then from there, you're going to start extending out front of you as if you're text-necking or reaching that nose forward. And then that chin will come towards the chest, and you'll restack the head back on tall. Let's do the same direction again. So nose up towards the ceiling, and then extend that face forward, head, neck forward, chin tucked down, end up in that stacked position. Now let's reverse it. Chin down towards the chest, scrape that sternum, reach towards the floor, and then extend forward, up towards the ceiling, chin tuck, grow tall. Repeat one more time. Chin scrapes chest, reaches out to the front, up towards the ceiling, and then grow tall and stack that head. We're going to repeat that same Ferris wheel-like pattern, but now from our mid-body. With your arms across your chest, make sure those blades stay retracted, and let's tuck our chin and keep it there the whole time. I want you to lead this movement through the rib cage, not through your head neck. Lightly round forward. Then extend towards the front of the room. That heart chest is going to lead to the front. We're going to lift up and over the back, and then ribs to hips, come back down again in that forward flex. Repeat one more time. Forward, extend, up and over, and then rib cage down. Let's reset to tall, and now we'll reverse it. So we'll extend first, and then we'll reach forward, rounding and rolling, and coming back onto center. And one last time, up, forward extension, ribs to hips, and then back to stacked. Give that a little wiggle. We'll come back, but change the ride.
I thought we were going to do one more ride on those hips, Lauren.
Okay,
one more ride on those hips.
We can do hips. So I like to narrow my stance a little bit, and I do have a slight bend in my knees. Let's try that same direction of movements with the hips. It's a little bit imaginary, as it's a much more challenging in this. So I'm going in the forwards, I would call it, direction. Now could I reverse and try going in the backwards direction? Make it up a little bit. Try to scoop that pelvis around the femurs, and then come back to center. And now we'll do that toe squat. But first, just a really quick warm up. Go to the demi point. Ask yourself permission to go to the point, and then flex over. Then push the toes forward, and as we return the heel to the floor, push the hip forward as well, extending the hip. Peel. If allowed, go to the toe point. From there, flex over on the toes. Then push the toes forward, return to the balls of feet, and hips through. Gently go knees over toes from here. We'll stand back up, pushing those hips forward. Then go knees over toes, lift the heels, sink a little bit lower, but then stand back up and reset those heels to the floor. We'll end up on the floor this time. So first, flat feet, knees over toes. Heels peel up to assist ourselves getting lower. And with our balance aid here, maybe, use your hands as another maybe. Knees to the floor, squeeze your bum through. From here, I'll warm up the wrists. Hinge on the hips, it's fingertips, callus lines, full hand squeeze in with that blood donation facing forward. From here, press the hand away from the ground, increasing that tension on those first knuckles and fingertips. Then slowly return to the floor. Press through the fingertips and slowly return to the floor, encouraging those elbows to stay straight. One more, press and slowly pull or return the full hand to the ground. Then push the floor away, push those hips through with a tuck under, and then
return to the hands with the fingertips facing laterally. Hinge, land fingertips, callus lines, and then full hands. Blood donations are still forward. From here, I'll push to my right, shifting my weight left. Then press to the left, shifting the weight to the right. Repeat a couple more times. Press so hard to turn those fingertips white with tension and push. Newton's whatever law it is, opposite direction, equal in force. Push one way, go the other. Now just push to center, push equally to rise up in the middle, and finish with that wrist flick. One more quick wrist for me will be having those fingertips turned around gently. Maybe use the wall. This could be quite rich on the flexor side of the forearm here. Fingertips, callus lines, perhaps those full hands. If we're shrugging, let's pull those down. Then lightly at first, press your pinky fingers in the ground, then relax. Then do the same thing on the middle fingers. Press down, relax. Middle fingers are next. I hope I get my order right. Press down and relax. Index fingers are next. And chill. Then final time with those thumbs. Then push all 10 fingers in the ground and try to bend your elbows. Finish with a flick of the wrist, the extension of the hips. Then transition back to your toe squat, either on flat feet or on those tippy toes that stand up. Slow the down, just like we did with those hands. One more roller coaster ride or theme park ride.
I have two more. Stay tuned.
Okay, stay tuned.
So we were on a Ferris wheel. It went this way. Now we're going to go on the Vortex. I think it's called the Vortex. It goes this way, or merry-go-round. A little bit of an imagination is needed in some parts of this. With your head on straight, you're going to slide an ear towards over a shoulder. As you go there, try to keep your nose and your eyes in the same direction. Then your head is going to reach forward to that front corner of the circle. You're going to continue drawing the circle to the new corner and slide around, ending up back to stacked. Repeat in the same direction. It's a slide, and then a slide forward, a slide across the front, and to that new back corner of the circle, and then stacked. Let's reverse it. Slide side. Forward face slide across the front of the room to that new corner around the back of the circle and on. And one last time, take your time circling around that head neck, feeling those crinks and cracks, but it should feel good. So I like to picture my vertebrae just sliding in that one versus flexing and extending. We'll do the same thing at our rib cage, starting with your feet slightly wider than your hips. Everything from belly button down is in concrete, doesn't move. Slide the rib cage one way. Then again, start circling it forward, reach to that front corner of the circle, draw the circle to the new corner, and then around the back, all the way around, one more time in that same direction. Again, because we're sliding here, we're trying to keep the shoulders level and just carving out a nice, smooth circle. Get back to where you started. Pull your body on straight. Now let's reverse the direction. Slide the other way. Other front corner, around the other side, reaching all the faces of the clock or all the times on that clock face. Repeat one last time in that nice smooth circle, breathing as you go. End where you started, pull yourself back on straight. Step your feet in a little bit closer. Okay, the hips again. Slight bend in the knees as needed, and let's try to reach those hips around all the corners of the room. As we do that, I'm trying not to tip forward and back in the hips, so I'm not necessarily hulaing as so much as trying to slide around. Reverse the directions, so my belt line would kind of stay in the same place, and I'm not spilling the punch out the front or the back. Come back to center. Put everything back on, and then
back to the floor. Shoulder blades this time with those hands on the floor. Feet in parallel, flat feet, knees over toes. Then pull the heels off the floor to help us get low. With or without those hands, it's the knees and then the hips extend. And this time, it's the fingertips first, callus lines next, full hands to the floor. We'll keep the knees down. You could add intensity to this exercise by lifting in the bear. But first, grip the floor. Retract the shoulders as to pull a pencil between the blades. From here, elevate the shoulders, which is a shrug, to the ears. Then, keep the spine long and push into the floor, wrapping the blades around the body. Next, pull down to the hips. Next, retract. One more time in that same circle. Shrug, which is lifting the blades to the ears. Keep the spine long as you press into the floor, protracting the shoulder. Then depress or pull down to the hips. Finish in a retraction. Then push the floor away. Extend those hips through with a posterior tuck. Cramp the bum. One more time, reversing the circle. It's a together, a down, a forward, and up. Hinge on those hips, fingertips, calluses, and hands. And maybe you're using that hand sequence to prep for your handstands tomorrow. From here, retract the shoulders. Pull the armpits low. Push into the floor. Shrugging to the ears. Finishing in retraction. One last time. Pull down to the hips. Press into the floor. Lightly elevate or shrug. Then retract. And push through the hands and push those hips through. From here, maybe transition back to the toe squat. Stand on those toes, drive down to grow up. Hang out in that balance for a second longer and return to the floor with control. One more theme park ride, Lauren said.
One more
Let's
theme
do it.
park. It's a rotational ride. Maybe the salt and pepper shaker.
Ooh.
Not sure which one. Standing tall. Arms at our side, blades lightly retracted. Head is this time on a serving platter as you rotate your head to look over one shoulder. Bringing it back to center, rotating over the other shoulder. I like to imagine my spine coming right out the top of my head like the Smarty in a hat. And that's the axis I'm rotating on. One more time each way. Shoulders are trying to stay stationary, rib cage stationary, and then back to center. We'll step those feet a little wider, arms across chest again. This time, let's keep our head forward, our hips forward, and try to rotate that rib cage, upper body, T-spine one way. And then bring it back with the core. Repeat the other side. Rotate, head stays forward, hips stay forward, and then back to center. Now, let's add on. Head is going to rotate one direction. Then that upper body is going to rotate, but the hips still remain forward. Hold back here. Now head's going to come back to center, and then upper body back to center. Repeat the other way. Head first, shoulders, upper body second, head back to center, shoulders back to center. This time, let's keep our head in line with our sternum and both go at the same time. So head and shoulders stay tandem, stay in line as they rotate, but hips are forward, and then return to center. And one last time, chin and sternum in line, rotate, and then back to center. Nice. Now the hips. Okay, could we keep that upper body on stationary and try to open the hips one way and then back to center, and open the hips the other way and then back to center. I'm almost doing a corkscrew action where my hips are going to my right, say, and I'm trying to send my upper body to the left. One last time. And then shake, wiggle, and roll.
We'll put that all together with one more repetition from the floor. Knees over toes, flat feet. Peel up those heels, sink low with control. From there, it's knees, and then those hips. We'll take a quick detour and a lunge before putting that all together. Step through into the lunge. The posterior leg, the back leg is in that tuck under. The front leg, pull in. Squeeze your back butt, pull in on the front. Then press forward in the front leg, push back in the back leg, and feel that distraction or that push out of the front while squeezing your back. Then for one more time, pull in. Easy does it. Open that leg to the side like in the movement clock and have that knee face 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at the side. From here, let's tuck under this kneeling leg. Then tip back on the side leg. And for 5 more seconds, go back and forth in your brain as you continue to tuck under on the kneeling leg and pulling in on the side leg. Now pull in together and feel that adduction tension in the groin. Then press away, feeling that extension. Then easy does it, go toe to the front. We'll get to that toe tip, slide the leg underneath, transition to the other side, and repeat. Level those hips. That's a cue for you and me. Tuck under the back leg. Pull in the front. Continue pulling in the front, tucking under the back, and then just relaxing that effort away. Reintegrate the tuck of that kneeling leg, the pull, the compression of the front. Now press to forward through the front and back through the back. Don't go anywhere, but create high tension. Then pull together. Then easy does it, return that leg towards the side. Tuck this leg under. Pull this leg back. One more time, let's tuck under on the kneeling leg, pulling in on the side. Now pull in together, then press apart to create tension, and then pull in, heel toe to the front again, to the toe tip, underneath. And back to Lauren to put that all together. Windmill.
Windmill.
That was your idea.
I know, I was thinking about all the work I have to do. Tucking under that back hip. We'll heel toe that leg to the side again. Taking that same arm as the side leg, placing it across our chest. From here, let's get back to that rotation. So our head rotated over that leg, and then that upper body rotates. Before we hinge to the floor, let's bring our head back to center and our shoulders back to center. Keep that knee to the side and repeat one more time. Head, and then shoulders. Now, hinging on your hips, hips go back, hand finds the floor. Before we rotate, let's stack those shoulders on top of each other. Then, head rotates to look at the hand on the floor. Shoulders square up. Head rotates to look open to the ceiling. Shoulders rotate open. Repeat one more time. Head first, then shoulders, and then head open and shoulders stacked. From there, we'll press the floor away, extending the hips. The head will return to center. The shoulders will return to center. And then that heel toe to the front of the room. Bring that leg underneath and repeat on the other side. Knee comes to the front, knee heel toes to the side. Back hip is pressing forward, leg lightly pulling in. Side arm, cross chest. Head rotates to leg, upper body rotates. Head back to center, body back to center. One more time. Head rotates, keep those blades together as the upper body rotates, then use your hinge to find the floor. With that hand on the floor, we'll stack the shoulders, and then the head will look at the hand on the floor, and the shoulders will square up. Then head rotates open, and shoulders rotate open. Repeat again. Head rotates to hand on the floor, shoulders rotate closed. Head rotates open, shoulders rotate open. Pushing the floor away, extending the hips, head back to center, shoulders back to center, heel toe leg back to center, and we'll bring that leg back underneath our body.
And stand up.
And stand up.
Transition.
Watch the bar.
To the toe squat. Look and examine your surroundings behind you. Then, hiya, come on up and reset the heels to the floor.
Whew.
We'll be back on the ground for a little bit of hips action there, but take a little bit of break off those hands and just integrate some shoulders again. From here, hands down low, elevate the shoulders and then pull down. Protract, meaning forward blades, and retract, squeeze together. From here, bend the elbows to approach a W shape. And are there straight lines through the fingertips and elbows, or are we bent? Encourage the palms forward and straight lines through the fingertips. Elevate the shoulders and then pull down. Protract, rounding forward. Retract, pulling together. Then extend the elbows to the side. Always need to work on our spacing here. And are your your elbow pits facing the same direction as your palm pit? They could either face forward or face the ceiling, but for this drill, have them facing the same direction as each other. Next, we'll shrug. Then We'll pull down. We'll protract us to round forward. I love that stretch. Then finish in a retraction. Then easy does it from the T shape towards your overhead. Palms could face forward or in. And then one more time, we'll elevate or shrug. We'll pull down. We'll go forward, retract back, and then pull like a chin-up or a press, returning to what we call this racks position in front. And then isometrically, meaning create tension on those biceps and triceps, and then extend the elbows with that high tension along the biceps on the front of the arm and those triceps on the back. And shake it out. Lauren's gonna return us to the floor here to work on some more hips. Let's do it, one quick set.
We will be hinging to get to the floor this time. So that light tilt of the tailbone to the back wall as you chop your hips back into that hinge position. Feel the feet gripping the floor, the vertical shins, load on our hamstring, still neutral spine core brace. And then we'll break some rules. Tip forward and just find all fours. How about you take a second off for all fours and watch this, and then we'll do it all together. In fast motion, we are going to bend the knee, bring it towards the chest, lift it up to the side, all the way around the back, and then back underneath, and we'll reverse in the other direction and return. It will not be that fast, but I wanted you to know what you're about to encounter. So come on back down, hands under the shoulders. Let's lightly tip the tailbone to the ceiling, that anterior pelvic tilt. Now take a leg and bend it. Don't even let the knee leave the floor, just bend your heel to your bum. Now the knee will lift slightly off the floor into the socket. Bring the knee towards the chest, but keep the tailbone long as to not round that low back, and hold for a couple seconds. From here, we'll lift the leg directly out to the side, but we won't tip over. If we have that bowl of water on our back, it's flat. It's not spilling. Now the ankle is going to lift, the knee is going to continue drawing a circle around to the back. We'll end up in our hip extension. Once you're right behind you, try to hug the midline with that leg and slightly tuck under now to brace the core as you kick the ceiling from your glute versus that low back. Keep the core braced, the tailbone tilted towards the ceiling as the knee returns back underneath you. Keep it hovered off the floor and the knee bent. Now retuck to engage that core as you now go the other direction, kicking the ceiling. Shoulders and hips square to the floor as you kick. The leg will start to circle out to the side. Knee lifts, knee comes all the way around towards the elbow, create length between the rib cage and the hip. It'll be back underneath towards the chest in that flexion, but keep the tailbone long, and then return the knee to the floor. Press the floor away, take a couple seconds off those wrists. You don't have to spin around, but we'll spin around and do the same thing on the other side. Establish that nice grip in the floor. We'll first gentle tip of the tailbone to the ceiling, bend that knee. Then slightly compress the leg into its socket, keeping that tailbone tip, bring the knee towards the chest and hold. Now the leg will lift out to the side. As it lifts, it's going to draw that circle all the way around to that back side into that hip extension. Once you're here, slight tuck under as to brace, kick with the cheek, and then pull the leg back underneath. This is where the tailbone goes long and the knee returns back under. We'll reverse it, tighten up that core, light tuck under as our leg reaches towards the ceiling behind us. Then staying square to the floor, the leg will open up to the side, keeping that length between the rib cage and hip here as the knee comes all the way around towards the elbow. And now we have that anterior tip or tailbone to ceiling as our knee hovers off the floor in front of our chest. Return the knee to the floor and relax for a second. We'll return to standing through our down dog or our hinge up. So what that means is let's hover our knees off the floor, tipping the tailbone to the ceiling. Now lift the hips. You can keep the knees bent. Prioritize keeping that tailbone spine nice and long. Slowly walking your hands towards your feet. End up in your hinge position, so hips back and loaded. And then whoop, drive through.
Where'd I go? 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 Oh, we're here.
Where'd I go? Where'd I go?
Welcome back. We'll be grabbing the chair from the back corner here and integrating more hips from a standing position with our straight leg. So maybe that was my cue. Maybe it was the prop
I
master's
was just a little
cue.
parched there.
Take your sips of water, coffee, whatever your favorite bevy is for the day. Taking it over here, single leg to the front. Straight legs and finish with those ballet-styled feet if you can. The karate foot is also appropriate. It'll just be a smaller shape and that's okay too. From here, we have your inseam turned up. Then open that leg to the side. Are those hips still facing forward? Now turn in on that inseam. Ask for permission to cramp up that lateral bum and pull the leg straight underneath of the hip so you're tall standing. When the leg goes to the back, just like what Lauren had, let's tuck both hips under and use your foot. Drive to the back and finish with those toes. Then it's a turn out of the hip as you reach that leg to the side. With the inseam facing forward, now turn it under and pull that leg back underneath the hip. One more time each direction. To the front. Is the inseam up? Utilize that turnout in the hip to bring the leg to the side. From there, turn in and pull back to center. For the final rep, those hips are forward and the leg reaches back. Then open in the hip as you reach that leg to the side. Pause there for a second as your inseam forward. Great if it is, but now turn it in or under and pull through the foot to stand tall. Add the shake, add the wiggle, and repeat on the other side. Use that balance aid, we do, because the pros do, and encourage you to use something stable to hold on to as well. A single leg to the front. Open up that inseam up or an external rotation in the hip. And then Lauren's got the right idea. We'll use that to take it to the side. From here, turn in on the hip. Whew, does that cramp? I hope it could a little. And pull in nice and tall. Then tuck under. It helps protect that low back and challenges the hip extension. Try to finish with those toes in the back, then turn out of the hip, reach the leg to the side, pause. Is the inseam forward? A+ if it is, but then turn it in and bring the inseams back underneath to tall. Last one, we'll go to the front. It's the turn out that helps us get that leg to the side. Then at the side, let's turn in on that hip, pull into center, and final repetition to the back with those hips pushing forward. Lock in key, turn out. Pause. Is Lauren's inseam facing forward? I think so. But then let's hide it and pull back underneath to tall and to shake. Planking time. We've hinged, we've toe squatted. What other creative ways, Lauren, do you know to get to the floor?
I know, we could fold.
Woo.
So we will stand tall first, extend our head towards the ceiling, and then tuck the chin. Imagine one vertebrae at a time as you roll forward, flexing. So it's those neck vertebrae first. Then it's that mid back. Then we continue to that lower back flexing. And we'll keep those hips extended, meaning they're stacked over top of our heels. We're not pushing them back behind us. And hang out for a second in your forward fold. Maybe you hang out here and you like to bend your knees a little bit. And then re-straighten them. And then bend them a little bit. And re-straighten them. And then we'll bend them and we'll walk ourselves out into our high plank. So with your hands under your hips and your hips up, either from the knees or from the toes, tip the tailbone to the ceiling and then do the opposite. Tuck it under. That should allow you to squeeze your cheeks together. Squeeze them tight. Pull your shoulders down. Pull your hands towards your feet, keeping your core brace and breathing underneath that tension. Squeeze, brace, hold, 3, 2, knees find the floor. Tailbone tips to the ceiling, and if you'd like to hinge back, go ahead, but keep that nice long extended spine versus flexing. As we pull ourselves back forward, we're going to pull back up into a plank. So pull through to that plank position again. Tucking under, squeeze, brace. This time, let's pull in that X pattern, meaning without moving, pull your right hand to your left hip tension. Then your left hand to your right hip tension. Then your right to your left and your left to your right at the same time for 3, 2, now tilt the tailbone to the ceiling, pushing forward and back, lifting the hips up. Slowly walk the hands back towards those feet. Take your time. Allow the knees to bend as needed. And then we're going to stack ourselves back up to tall. So we reverse it. This time, it's the bottom that stacks first. The low back, the rib cage, the upper back, and then the head neck. Whew.
Keep the chair handy so that we have time at the end, hopefully to manipulate with that apparatus one more time. But let's clear the area and get our movement clock going. Other day in the studio, someone asked, what are the 5 exercises I should do every day? I recommended something for the head neck, something for the rib cage, to create suppleness and strength. So far we have rotations, supples, and planks. The other things I said was a hip bar. That's number 3. The walk, I said, was the number 4.
Like go for a walk.
Go for a walk. This will satisfy that at least a little bit. Pull up to the low position, point through the toe and land toe ball heel. Pull together, push away, straight leg returns underneath, followed by our pull. Diagonal, point, accept that floor toe ball heel, pull together, press apart, straight legs back in. Knee front, knee side. We stay square forward and we land toe ball heel. Pull for stability, push away for power. This time we'll face a new corner, but the knee comes forward, the knee goes side. We turn on that standing leg and accept the floor and push for power. It's the smallest out the back, toe ball heel 2, scissor, pushing the back leg forward and the front leg back, and then the opposite to come up. One more time, forward.
Second leg.
Second leg, toe ball heel. Then press away, straight leg returning. Up, diagonal, extend, toe ball heel, and push. Then front and open, and accept that landing. Stiff leg as always, good job, Lauren. And then knee front, side. Keep that straight leg straight at the knee, squeezing on the bum, and push away for power. It's the knee bend, that front leg stays straight. Ooh, scissor, shoot. Scissor in, push away, balance, and repeat for a lifetime to perfect it. Still not there quite yet.
All right, let's do some push-ups today. We're gonna get back to the floor via our hinge. If you don't wanna push up, perform your plank. Chop those hips, hinging back. Then we'll dip forward. I don't know what that was a combo of. And whether you're holding your plank position or coming with us for some push-ups, keep that core tension. Assume your position. Slowly start pulling yourself down all the way to the floor, soft landing. To get back up, those hips tuck, the core brace, either the knees or the toes, but everything leaves the floor at once. Let's repeat. Squeeze the glutes. Pull the floor together underneath you, keeping that core brace. Slowly lower all the way down. Pause, reset, and up. One last time. Pull yourself down. Feel those lats engaged through those armpits. The core tight. And last time, up. Then the tailbone tip to the ceiling. The hips push back to that hinge position as you walk your hands back to your feet. Load it up, and then press to tall. Whew.
Back to tall. One more time on that movement clock, but let's change things and let's get to the front leg balance. So start in parallel. Knee front, straight, toe ball heel. Now push off that back leg to hold a bent knee balance on the front, then accept toe ball heel and push. Same leg, front, 10 or 2, point, toe ball heel. Continue to peel that leg off the floor, hold a bent knee balance, and then push and under. Front, side, extend, accept. Continue to pull off the ground, and then push. We'll face that back corner with the knees front, then side. Then we turn on that standing leg, hip, toe ball heel, pull that leg off the floor, and accept to power back. And then out the back, it's a knee bend, the toe ball heel. And from here, pull that leg off the floor, toe ball heel to tall stand. Same effort other side. knee front, point, toe, ball, heel. From there, peel the leg off the back, hold the bent knee, push, and assemble together. Knee front, knee side, point, toe, ball, heel. Transition that weight to the single leg, hold the balance, and then push. It's the same knee front, it's the same knee side. The hips and shoulders stay square forward. Transfer that weight, lift up a leg, accept and power. Final 2 repetitions, front, side, rotation, toe, ball, heel. Peel that leg off the ground, accept, returning to the back, toe, ball, heel, scissoring in so that leg might lift, then toe, ball, heel, back to tall.
There's still time for more push-ups.
Woohoo!
Let's do it again.
Let's do it.
Let's pick a number in our head, anywhere from 1 to 5, and we're going to perform those reps to the 90 degrees and then press back up. So not all the way down, slow but controlled, but not too slow, just right. Let's round and flex forward this time. We're back to our forward fold, rolling ourselves forward. Shift that weight to the forefoot as you descend through your forward fold. Once you're at the bottom, hang out for a second, and then walk yourself out to either your plank or your push-up position. What's your number? Tuck those hips, pull your shoulders down, perform. Pulling yourself down, pressing away. Up to 5 push-ups here, trying to break 90 degrees at those elbows as you go, but keeping the hips and the chest, I lost count, at
5.
the same height. Tailbone tip to the ceiling, walk those hands back to those feet, and then stack yourself all the way back up to tall.
We have 1 minute left, and for that, let's get that chair balance aid back. We'll be picking on or challenging the leg out to the side and internal rotation of that leg. So stand with your bar at your side and the leg out to the side. Turn your inseam forward and turn your inseam under or in. Repeat, turn your inseam forward and then turn it under. Keep touching the floor. If you were to let go of your bar, you're not going to fall over, but try to reach this leg towards the center of the room or away from your body. Does that cramp this lateral leg? I hope so. Relax the effort. Push the hips through. Return in on the same lateral leg. And for 1 more time, reach, as I'm trying to reach out of my hip socket to touch Lauren's foot. For 3 more seconds, I'm reaching, turning in on that hip, and then pull underneath to stay tall. Repeat on the other side. Chat feature. I hope that's not a spam chat. It's so nice when someone actually says hello. But we'll take a leg out to the side. We'll turn in on that hip. Turn out on that hip. Turn in. Now, where do you feel that? The front, the side, the back, it's all possible as we try to reach that leg away. Turn in on the hip. Cramp up in a polite way here. Ease off with rest. Hips forward. Turn in on that hip and reach as I try to touch Lauren's foot while keeping touching the floor, ensuring that I'm not hiking a hip and increasing that tension and load in the hips here. Take time. Pull the leg underneath. Squeeze your bum, add our fun wiggles in there too. And that is how we restore and recharge at the bar.
I like to be on this
Lauren
side.
likes her side.
Thanks for joining us today at our Restore and Recharge class. We're here tomorrow morning to play with our strength. Well, we'll start with a nice light warm up and get crawling and rolling around. Hope to join you then, or hope
you join us then.
And then check out the link letter for your morning routine on Sunday morning. Nice, quick, but feel good routine.
So to our patrons, to our members or YouTubers at large, thank you for being here today and joining us at this practice. And we ask that you continue to support your strength and our practice with your own membership. Thank you very much. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren.
Together we stay strong with our bars and bells, and we look forward to training with you soon. Have a good day.
Goodbye.